Welcome to the video walk on your Prowler. First things first, bumper caps come off. It's going to be the perfect spot to store your sewer hose. Come off both ends. You are pre-wired for backup camera, so if you choose to have us install one, we can definitely do that for you. Stabilizer jacks, all four corners. So you just use a 3/4 inch socket on a drill if you want to make them quick. There does come with a crank to do so. And then low point drains if you want to drain some of the water out of the lines. And then your sewer connection, one on your left is your gray, one on your right is your black. Just make sure the valves are closed before you take that cap off. Plus, you know, you're not gonna have a good day. Short cord, it's built in. You can't never lose it. Just make sure you unplug it and stuff it back in before you pull away with it. This can slide up like that and close. Keep it nice and neat looking. Cable inlet, so if you're going somewhere that does provide cable, you can hook it up through there. Fridge vent, that's your intake. Your exhaust is on your roof. That's just for airflow. All you folks have to do is make sure it's clean in here so it gets adequate airflow. You know, spider webs, bees nests, things like that. Water heater, very simple to use. Right here, it's your plug for it, so when you're ready to use it, throw your plug in it. It's 15/16 is the socket size, so if you want to use a socket, they do make a wrench for it. But get it started by hand, and then use a wrench or the tool, so you don't strip the nylon threads. The only thing you folks will have to do regularly is make sure it's clean in here and in here. Right in there. Before you take your plug out to drain it, and I definitely recommend draining it after every trip. You don't want water to sit in there, it'll get stagnant. Pop your pressure relief open. Once all the water stops spewing out here, and it's fine for things to get wet, snap it closed, then you can pull your plug out. If not, you're going to get a hot bath, and you might risk losing this because it'll get shot out. All your controls for it are in the inside. Freshwater fill, if you're going to fill your onboard tank, you just rest your hose in here. Don't jam it in there, just rest it in there. You can monitor its progress on the monitoring panel. And to drain it, there is let's see if I can't see it. Right there, that's the drain for your fresh tank. I always recommend draining it after every trip. Right there, that's your exterior vent for your range hood. You just pop these tabs open to get it open. If you don't have it if you have it closed, it's not going to work. It's not going to vent anything anywhere. So just pop these open, and then when you're traveling, snap it closed. City water connection. So if your place has water, 80% of the time this is what you use. It'll operate off of city water pressure. Another one of them stabilizer jacks. Like I said, they're on all four corners. Storage. That's the crank for the jacks if you want to do it by hand. A lot of good information for you folks here. So, gross vehicle weight rating, cargo carrying capacity, all that. That's an important number right there. 65 PSI, that's what you want your tires to be at. Ignore what the tires say. That's the number you want. Battery. It's a Group 24 RV marine grade battery. If it's going to be a couple weeks between trips, I recommend disconnecting your negative lead from the battery. In the winter, I definitely recommend taking your battery completely out and storing it in somewhere warm like your garage or your basement. The winter is killer on these batteries. Get this off one-handed. There we go. Dual 20-pound cylinders, and then automatic changeover regulator. So if it's pointing this way, it's going to pull from this tank first. When that one gets empty, it'll switch to pulling from this tank if that were to be on. However, this won't move, indicating it has done such. So I always recommend to people, just do one, leave one on, leave one off. If you notice your flames go down on your burner or your furnace, just stops pushing out heat. Come out here, turn this one off, turn this one on, and then switch it. That way you have in the back of your head that this one's empty. It's time to fill it up. Tongue jack, chains, as you know, cross them. It's your 7-way, and that's your breakaway pin right there. This would get pulled, your brakes will activate on your trailer. Other side of that storage compartment, it is locked. But it's pass-through storage, you can get to it from either side. Exhaust for your furnace, just make sure it's clean. If any debris, they do make screens for it. They don't recommend you run your furnace with those screens on. Outdoor outlet, GFCI protected. So if those GFCIs were to trip, all the GFCIs are going to trip as well. And then plenty of storage in here as well. That concludes your exterior tour. We'll move on in. So these steps are very simple to use. Lift up, pull out, grab this one, pull out. Come on, we're coming on in. So first thing, lights, all different lights. This is your main lights. This is your awning lights, LEDs. Oh, sorry. This is your, hard to do one-handed. Sorry. This one, speaker lights. And then controls for your awning. There are LED lights on you too for your awning. If you can see there, this switch right here turns those on or off. Awning, unfortunately, we won't be able to go all the way open because of the wall there, but I'll show you that these are adjustable. You would just grab here and pull down. Difficult to do when the awning is not all the way actually open, but pull down to adjust pitch. It would lower one end, allow water to come off of one end. If it is raining, roll it up, raining hard. If it's sprinkling or just raining just a little bit, you're good. But storms, I recommend rolling it up. The wind will take it away. You roll it up. If you roll it in wet, as soon as it gets dry, let it come out again. Outlets, either side of the bed, so you can charge your phones at night or alarm clocks. Storage underneath your bed. Well, storage on either side of the bed with a light up there controlled from the switch you can see on the side. Carbon monoxide alarm runs off the standard 9-volt batteries. It'll do low voltage chirps when it's time to change the battery. Moving along. Plenty of storage underneath here. Drawers. Microwave is only going to work when you're plugged in. Other than that, it works just like your standard microwave. Range vent. That fan, so if you are using that fan, make sure that flap I showed you outside is open. Folding cooktop. Like that. Gives you access to this. Turn on the light. Click burner. The gas is currently off, so it will not light right now, but you turn it to light. And just spin the clicker until it lights. Your oven works a little differently. Turn it to pilot on. You'd have to go in there and look. There's a pilot in there. You can kind of see it. You'd push and hold this. Then you have to light your pilot with a barbecue lighter or a match. Whatever you have handy. Once the pilot's lit, you would turn it to whatever temperature. Then the burner will cycle on and off at that temperature. If you don't feel like having to light the pilot again, and you know you're going to use it in a few hours, leave it, when you turn it off, leave it to pilot on. Touch shuts the burners off, but it leaves the pilot on. However, turn it off before you go to bed. You do not want a lit pilot overnight. That's just a safety issue. This does turn into a bed. Very simple. Just lift the table up, pop them legs off, store them. You can store them underneath there if you want to, or even underneath here. Then your table rests on these little shelves here, and you rearrange the back cushions on the table to make a bed space. Thermostat for your furnace. So you just flip this all the way over like that. You can even see it's labeled off, pointing that way. Like that turns it off, and then that is your temperature adjusting right here. Spot, if you want to have a TV in there, you do have these, and then this also will act as a DVD player for that as well. And an outlet, cable hookup, and your booster for your antenna. So if you are using your antenna, make sure that little green light is on. Your radio, hit the power. You can go through modes, auxiliary, pair. You can Bluetooth your pair. You can be on FM radio. You have different zones. Hit zone 1, turns the inside off. Zone 2, turns the outside off. So you can have the inside on and the outside off if it's late at night and you don't want to bother people. Or the outside on and the inside off if people are taking a nap. You know, auxiliary port and Bluetooth, sorry. And then USB too. So Bluetooth, USB, and auxiliary. Plenty of storage through there, and the cabinets are there. Your AC is very simple. So this will turn your AC on. That's fan speed, that's temperature. That does not mean heat, it just means it's the warmest to cold it can get. So you can see it there, warm, all the way cold. If you have it on black, it's just gonna do the fan, it's not gonna cycle the compressor on or off. And then there is optional to have a heat pump put in here, a heat strip, and it'll push out a small amount of heat. That is an aftermarket thing to get installed. Fridge, super simple, on or off, auto. Gas, this check light will go on if there isn't gas. Recommend leaving on auto. Auto is going to allow it to switch whatever it's on. It will default to 120, so if you're plugged in, that's what it's going to use. However, if wherever you were at were to lose power, this will automatically switch to operating off of propane. These do take about 10 to 12 hours to get to their operating temperature. So I definitely recommend, if you have the ability to, plug it in the night before, let it get cold, and then you can you don't have to wait as long wherever you're going for it to get to operating temperature. Nice dual bunks, light switch for in here, and then light back there. You have to crawl back there and turn it on and off from the light. Breaker box has all your breakers for your 120 volt, and then all your fuses for your 12 volt. So it's all 15s and 240s. Definitely recommend, if you can, keeping some spare fuses with you, just in case something were to happen. You can always replace that fuse. Bathroom, very self-explanatory. Light switch right here. So one on the right, lights in here. One on the left, we'll do that fan in there. And then you just crank it open and close with that knob. Shower, very easy to use. If you want to shower, you turn it on and then pull up on this. If not, it'll be a bath. Toilet, as long as you're pushing that foot pedal right there, it's gonna flush for you. Resettable GFCI, so all your outlets labeled GFCI. If they would trip, you come in here and reset them here. And then you have your monitoring panel. So you can do battery. Battery is always gonna read full when you're plugged in. And then how full your fresh tank, your black, and your gray are. If you are going to pull from your onboard tank, water pump. And then you can do your water heater on gas. So it says right here, LP gas, and water heater on electric. You can do them both at once. However, if you are going to use electric, make absolutely sure you do have water in your water heater. Or else you get about 5 minutes and you toast that heating element in there. That's it for the bathroom. One last little look around. And that concludes your video tour of your Prowler.